Welcome back to another video. Sorry if you hear Gracie's corner in the back. That's the only way that I can keep Ace quiet while I go ahead and record this video. So as you can see in the thumbnail, talking about my C-section experience, how I took care of it, the after effects, like what went down, because people have been asking me, mom-to-bees and just people in general, like my subscribers and my followers, like how was your C-section journey, yada yada yada. So I was like, let me go ahead and put a video together for y'all. But I'm barefaced today, y'all, so bear with me. Stop playing with me. But yeah, y'all, I just have on lip gloss and some earrings, but I wanted to put this video together, show you guys through my C-section journey. So yes, I did have a C-section and I was in the hospital for 5 days due to the C-section, plus Ace had to be in the NICU for some time. And then also, let me put my thumbs in, because my depression rate was really low, so they kept me for an extra 24 hours. But when I went into an emergency section because Ace was breached, that whole process, first of all, they had to give me a needle in my spine, which was very, very painful. I'm trying to remember because I was also like in a lot, so like I'm probably gonna miss some details because like it was an emergency C-section, like I said, so it wasn't planned, and it was just a lot going on in my head. Like I only remember certain parts, but what I do remember is them, they were like, okay, you're having an emergency C-section. I remember like 10 people in the room, y'all, like, and they put a needle in my spine. They called it a spinal something. It wasn't I don't think it was an epidural. It was a different, called a spinal something. I don't know, but they did that in my back, so I had to get in fetal position, and then they put that in my back, which was super painful. But I don't know, not as painful as contractions. So it was just a lot going on. And then they wheeled my bed into the room, and I felt like I was in an episode of Grey's Anatomy, y'all. Like they had the little curtain. It was like doctors and nurses all surrounding me, and I was also, students were also in there learning as well. And then I didn't shave because I wasn't prepared to go into labor that day. So like I was just like, oh my god, this is so much. But I was looking up and it was like people surrounding me, all with their mask on, their, what is it, their coats or whatever, their scrubs and stuff like that. So I was just looking around like, what in the world? And then they gave me anesthesia, and then they put like what I remember is they put a curtain up so I couldn't see, and they asked me, they were like, they kept touching me to see if I can feel anything, and then the time when I couldn't, that's when they actually like cut me open and stuff, from what I remember. And there was also, I was very, very nauseous. Like I kept dry heaving. Like, I don't know, I kept dry heaving, but you couldn't feel your stomach. So it was like I would just be randomly dry heaving. But you know, like when you're nauseous and you're throwing up, you could feel it in your stomach, like, oh my god, I'm about to throw up. But I couldn't feel nothing in my stomach, so all I just kept doing was dry heaving, like randomly, not knowing, like I didn't have the process, like I couldn't feel the process of it. So they already had like a little barf bag beside me, because they were like, a lot of people throw up during C-sections, because a lot of your intestines and all that stuff is like being moved around, and it can mess your stomach up. Thank god I didn't throw up, but I was this close. Like I just really kept dry heaving. Ray was there like holding my hand. I was sweating, I was crying, I was screaming, like I was scared, and it was just a lot going on, y'all. And you know, the normal C-section, they cut like 5 layers, yada yada. All I could feel was tugging. All I felt was tugging, and they were like, your baby's out. Ace wasn't crying, so I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, is he okay? He's not crying. They were like, we're gonna weigh him, we have to take him to the NICU, he's gonna have to, you know, have a feeding tube, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what is going on, y'all? It was literally the crazy experience. Yeah, I just remember them tugging, and I remember the nurse saying like, it's gonna be okay, like it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. She was rubbing, she was telling me like breathe in and out, because I was like having a panic attack in the middle. She was like, you have to calm down. Mind you, they had to stick the needle in me twice because I kept shaking, so like they couldn't get it the first time, so they had to stick me twice. And then they were like, Ray, you can see your baby. But all I remember is I didn't feel them cutting, I just felt tugging. I don't know what they were pulling, I don't know what was going on down there, because I couldn't see, But there's a picture, which of course I'm not going to post because that's super personal, but there was a picture that Ray took, and he was like, your intestines was just, your stomach was flapped open and your intestines were everywhere. He was like, I literally, he was like, I've never seen intestines in real life. And I was like, oh my God. And then I remember being wheeled back to the room, and I was on painkillers, and I was on the anesthesia had me like woozy. I was asleep because of everything that was happening. I don't even remember them stitching me back up, none of that. When I woke up, I was all woozy, like I was out of it. Like, I don't even, Alexis was saying I was calling her and telling her about the story, about what was happening. I don't remember none of that. And when I finally like was up and aware of what was going on, I was in so much pain. Like, and I've never had surgery before, y'all. I've never had surgery. I was in mad pain, y'all. Like, they were like, okay, it was a certain amount of hours that you have to do, and then you have to get up and walk because they have to, you know, get you back into the groove of things. So it took them like 15 minutes just to get me up out of the bed. Like, I had to like scoot up, move a certain way just for them to get me up, and I cried the entire time because it hurt so bad. It just felt tight, and like, oh my God, I was in so much pain. But they gave me oxycodone, like I had to take that like every 12 hours. I took ibuprofen. I took like, oh my God, I had to take 5 pills and every 4 hours, and then I had to take oxy every 12 hours. So like, they had to get me walking around just to get from the bed. I don't know if you've been in a hospital, but to get me from the bed to the door took about 20 minutes. And you know, the bed to the, I mean, it's not that far. It took me 20 minutes for 2 days to get from the bed to the door. Get down to see Ace in the NICU. It was, you know, like floors down or whatever. So I was in a wheelchair. Of course, anytime I wanted to do anything, I had to go to the wheelchair. They wanted me to also walk. So I had to like walk around the hospital, like holding on to the wheelchair. But I would walk so slow. Like, I was like one leg, one leg, one leg. I was like, oh my God. And then I had to eat light for the first 24 hours, like, because they say like you can throw up, you can't eat anything heavy. So like for the first 24 hours I could only eat like applesauce, juice, and that's really it. Like applesauce, juice, and soup, maybe. And then so that second day I was like barfing down. I was so hungry. But like the first day I was very nauseous. My stomach just felt really weird. And then I had like the dissolvable stitches, so eventually my stitches like dissolved. But yeah, so that was in the hospital. But I just remember like them trying to get me to walk and get me to like move and all that, and it was a very, very painful. And like my mom and Ray, because my mom had flew down, she booked a one-way flight to Atlanta, and they had to help me take a shower. I couldn't get it wet for like a week, so that was very hard. But no, not for a week, just for a couple days I couldn't get it wet. And then after that they were saying to like just let the water sprinkle on it because it'll help dissolve the stitches. Like her and Ray had to help me change my pad. Like I was in a diaper. I was in like the adult diaper for about a month. Like I was bleeding for a month straight, and I was in an adult diaper for about a month. And yeah, and they couldn't let me go home until I used the bathroom. So I had to poop before they even let me go home, because they wanted to see that my intestines and my stomach was still working the same before I came to the hospital and got a C-section, because you know they moving stuff around, so they don't let you go home until you poop, because they just, like I said, they just want to make sure all of that is basically working properly. So once I got home, the adult diaper really helped, especially with like pants. I know for like a month I didn't wear jeans, of course. I only wore sweatpants and leggings just for the comfortability, and like my stitches was hurting, my lower stomach like was in pain. So I wore like leggings. I wore for like a month. I probably wore for a few months, honestly, but like the first month was it was at its prime of pain. So I wore leggings and sweats and like big t-shirts and hoodies. But the adult diaper helped like kind of where my stitches were, just in case I were to hit it, because it was like super padded all the way up, because I think it came all the way up to like my belly button. I had like it wasn't a waist trainer, but something like it to help me like sit up straight, because I was kind of like hunched over for a long time because it was very painful for me to sit up straight. And so they gave me like something that was like a waist trainer to kind of keep my back like upright, and to also kind of get me in the groove of things, and to also help me not hit my stitches, because they, you know, your C-section, a lot of women, their C-section would bust open. So to prevent that, they give you like a little, it's sort of like something when you get like a BBL surgery and whatnot. So I had that on for a couple weeks. I used, I used the little flush thing. This is not just for C-section, this is for in general, but I used like, I can't remember what it's called. I'll pop it on the screen because I'll have to Google it, but it was something to help you like flush out down there or whatever. I didn't put anything on my scar. I'm trying to think because it was so long ago, y'all. It was over a year ago. So I did take an Epsom salt bath once my stitches all came off, because I couldn't do it like, you know, I couldn't do it beforehand. Of course, you can only let it sprinkle on you, but the water. But once like my stitches popped out, I did Epsom salt bath, which was very helpful. I was still popping the oxy every 12 hours. It literally took me like, I had to like to get into the car, I had to open the door, hold on to the little handle that's up top, and like kind of scoot down, put one leg in, sit down, and then grab the other leg like I was paralyzed and put that in. Like, that's how I had to get in the car. 12-week checkup, so I had to go to the OB 12 weeks so they can check my scar, and they had to like press down to make sure any stitches in the inside bust or anything. So they had to press down and make sure I didn't have like any bleeding coming out of like my vagina and stuff after like pressing it, which they also had to do in the hospital as well, which was very, very painful. They had to keep coming in and press, like when I tell you pressing hard, like pressing down to make sure like the stuff, like my stitches from the inside weren't like busting or infected or anything. So they had to come in and press down like super, super hard to make sure I wasn't bleeding, which was very, very painful, because can you imagine like fresh stitches and you're like pressing down on it? Like, I would scream. Like, it was definitely painful and hard. But would I do it all over again? Yes. As crazy as it sounds, for Ace, I would do it all over again. Because it was a few months of pain for a lifetime of love, and being a mom is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Would I have another child? I don't know. I might maybe have one more to shoot for a girl, maybe. And that's it, because the doctor already told me I will have to have a C-section every time I give birth. So I will never be able to have a natural birth. So I don't want to go through that C-section process again. And would I do it again for one more, a couple like years from now? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I do want a girl though. I do want a girl. But also, the fact that they already told me, like, if I were to get pregnant again, I would have to go, like, my pregnancy would be labeled as high risk. So I would have to be monitored a lot. I would have to be on bed rest. So when I have baby number 2, I would have to be working for myself, or, you know, something to where I could be at home majority of the time, and then I'll have to be prepared for possibly giving premature birth again, or and going through a C-section again. So I have to mentally prepare myself before I have baby number 2. It's about my story about having a C-section, not to scare the moms to be, or to future moms, or if you want to have kids, but I'm just letting you know the real of what was going on. I probably left out some details because, like I said, it happened over a year ago, and I can't remember everything because I was such in shock, and like my brain like kind of forget or remove certain parts or certain aspects. But I tried to remember the best I can. If I do remember something before this video goes up, I'll make sure to write it in the description below, and I'll make sure to put the adult diapers and the little squeezy thing that I was talking about down below in the description. So make sure y'all check that out. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and I hope mom-to-be or future moms, or if you want to have kids, that I kind of gave you guys the rundown of what I can remember. It's definitely worth it. It may not be the best, but it's definitely worth it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if I should do more videos like this, because I have a lot, y'all. I have a lot, but let me know. I could definitely do a story on my NICU journey of Ace being in the NICU if you guys are interested. I haven't really talked much about that journey because it's very emotional for me, very touchy experience, very traumatic. But yeah, y'all, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.